Alright, hello. We're here today to replace the bushings in here. Okay, this belt's going to get in the way a little bit. The bushings are going to be right here and here. This has an axle that goes through this. Okay, if you're missing this zerk, you should probably replace that too, or if you can't get any grease through it. But if you have a zerk there, then that's okay. You will need a grease gun with grease. I'm serious. Don't even. Yeah, if you're not going to bother greasing it up after you replace these. Now at first this may look fairly daunting, but it's really not. You need for the Classen, you need a 7/16 wrench. The part number on the diagram, it shows as the part number 20, but that's not the part number. The part number is 100,021, or 100021. So with the 7/16, you loosen this nut right here. It's actually, I'm sorry, it's a bolt. If that won't loosen, you'll have to get with this. But in this case, okay, once that's loose, this slides out like so. And that's all you have to do. You don't need to take anything else apart. This is being a pain. It's not trying to. You may have to coax it with a hammer, but go easy. Okay, you lay that there. This one comes out this way, and this one is right there. Now on mine, I'll lay this down somewhere, they're pretty wore out, and that's why they came right out. Okay, if yours are not wore out, you may have to get up in here with a hammer and a chisel. A screwdriver might work, but careful how hard you hit that thing. Okay. Now, oh, I lost one. Son of a gun. Yeah, and so well, because mine are so wore out, I was going to try a different size, but that doesn't work either. Anyhow, you pull this one off, slide the new one on. Fortunately, the one I lost was one of the new ones. So the ones I have on there are actually fairly new. So I'm just shooting this video for the purpose of showing you what it is that needs to be done. Okay. You might clean this off. Okay. Technically should clean all this up too. That's what I'm going to actually do. It's so darn dirty. You want to be careful with this grease. If you want to clean it up, that's one thing. Going the wrong way, but once I use gasoline, that's going to get into that grease. So if you're going to do that, you're going to need to clean it up good. Okay. So I'd put that right there. Put a little gasoline on a rag. And it'll clean that right up, just like that. And, all right. I clean it up because it's my belief that a clean machine runs better. Now, mechanically speaking, that's not exactly true. On the other hand, if your machine is very dirty, nowhere near as much fun to work on, and the other issue being dirt can get in the way of moving parts, even if it's not initially in the way. So you put that on here first, and then slide it in here. If yours is wore out like mine, then it'll go right on. If not, you may have to hit this with a rubber mallet. If you don't have one, get a small block of wood, set it up here, and then hit it with a hammer. This slides on here, and again, mine is wore out, which is why I tried a slightly different size, but that doesn't work either. So you just use the parts that you order. I give the eBay listing where I sell these down in the description. Then you'll want to line this up with that groove here as much as you possibly can. Yep. And start to tighten that down. Before you get too, once you start to feel it get tight, you know, try and see if it'll move. If it doesn't, you're good. Loosen it up again and push these together much as you can by hand. Tighten it down by hand, and with the 7/16, tighten that up. Now I got here a short one. You could use a long one, doesn't really matter. It's got to be fairly tight. I don't know what the torque specs are. I just snug them down pretty decent, but not real hard. And then, you know, the old last but not least, put the grease gun right there and squeeze grease until it comes out here or both. And that takes care of that. The reason we want to replace these is that play develops in there, and that's gonna, I got the belt on the wrong side, by the way. The belt needs to go up here. Okay. So yeah, if that happens, that's not a terrible thing. The way it works is when you pull on that handle, it tightens that spring, which tightens the cable, which pulls on that end and causes tension to go into the belt, which allows for the power from the gear reduction case and that there shaft to go through the belt, down into this shaft, into the chain, and down into the bottom axle that holds the tines. And it's good to keep those bushings, you know, if they're really wore out, again, it'll cause play, and that can mess, it can cause problems, not the least of which is loss of traction. But you always want to make sure if you have wore bushings, you need to replace them, because once those bushings are gone, it'll be metal to metal, and you're going to end up with worse problems. Parts for these machines are becoming difficult to find. I had to do quite a bit of searching, and I got a number of these bushings now that I'm selling on eBay, and again, I'll put a link for the description in the, I'm sorry, for the item number on eBay in the description. Anyway, quick recap. 7/16, loosen it up. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to take none of this other stuff apart. These two, this slides off and this slides out. You pull the two bushings out, put the two new ones on, put it back together. Actually, Put this one on first, put it back in, slide the new one on there, then slide this on, tighten this down by hand, make sure it sits inside the groove that's in that little axle that goes through. Once you're sure it is, hold them together and tighten it down with the wrench. Alright, that should do it. Thank you very much.